Gary Laird, come on up. Scott Liggett, come on up. Mariano Nicieza, come on up. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Stan Lee!
So, we've got to stop meeting like this.
I know. You're following me around, Stan. So before we get into the meat of the situation, Mariano, why don't you tell us a little bit about Shatner Singularity?
Shatner Singularity is a new imprint. We're specializing in digital and print product, and there's a broad spectrum of stuff. We have all sorts of digital stuff that's on the market now, and we're premiering our first print project, which is Stan Lee's God Woke. That's what we're all about right now.
Right on.
Well, God Woke is a poem that I wrote a few years ago. I'm not quite sure why. I was sitting home, I had nothing better to do, and I said, I'm gonna write a poem about God that's different than anybody else would ever write. So I wrote it and put it away, and I forgot about it. But one day William Shatner saw it, and he said, boy, I think this is great. I'd like to do it as a book. Could I publish it? I said, sure, go ahead, be my guest. And I forgot about it. The next thing I know, there's this beautiful book, God Woke, and I couldn't believe it. I looked through it. It was just the way I wrote it. And everybody here is wondering, what in hell is that all about? Well, you'll find out. They'll probably tell you. And it's on sale if any of you are interested. Where is it on sale?
Booth 1813, 1800 aisle.
If I hadn't asked him where it was, he'd never talk to me again. And, okay, so that's it about God Woke from me. Now, I'm going to take off because I have some other places I got to go. And there are other fans that I haven't seen yet. I want you to stay and listen to God Woke, listen to what he has to tell you about other stuff, and I'll be back later on.
Thank you, Stan.
Do we want to run the clip?
We certainly want to run the clip.
Let's run the clip of God Woke.
God woke. He stretched and yawned and looked around, haunted by a thought unfound, a vagrant thought that would not die. He rose and scanned the endless sky. He probed the is, he traced the was. He sought the yet to be, and then he found the planet Earth. The half-remembered planet Earth, steeped in pain and tragedy, and all at once he knew. He saw the world that he had wrought to suit his master plan. And then he saw the changes brought by the heedless hand of man.
So that is a clip of the cinematic graphic novel.
Yes,
That's
that
actually
is.
been out there. Did we have it out in time for San Diego? This is debuting now.
This is debuting now.
You just got a sneak peek. We just premiered it, and the rest of it's up on iTunes.
It will be on iTunes in about 2 weeks. Right now it's on Vimeo.
Okay.
Which, actually, if you happen to have a cue card reader, look, you can just read that card right there.
Boom! Bust out the phones, kids. Get your God Woke.
Right. The other great thing about this is that we have Stan actually narrating it. So you can read the word bubbles as well as listen to Stan do the narration.
Now that's a little different from the other cinematic graphic novel. Why don't you tell us about that?
Right. Our standard cinematic graphic novel it's not just a digital comic where you can read it on your mobile device, on your smartphone or tablet or whatever. And it's not really a motion comic where the actors are recorded with their voiceover. We actually have the word bubbles that allow you to read it like a regular comic book and use your imagination to interpret the voice of the character and to just develop more of the content and the context of the comic in your own mind.
So the way that we do it is we have the comic book artists, such as Mariano and his team. They actually do all the drawings. They send it to me, who actually, I do all the animations, which you just saw part of my work on the screen. And then the music and all that goes to Mr. Scott here. And he does all the sound effects and all the sound stuff. That's him. I'm a video guy. He's the audio guy. And there's the artist.
So right now, God Woke is premiering at this show, and it sort of lives in 3 different categories. So one category, as Scott and Gary just described, is cinematic graphic novels. The other category is via Comixology as a digital graphic novel. And then premiering for the first time anywhere at this show is the hardcover deluxe edition graphic novel. So you can enjoy it all 3 ways, or whatever your choice may happen to be.
Mariano, why don't you tell us about, like, there's some special features in this book relating to Stan's 75th anniversary.
The book has typical graphic novel art.
Well, it's not really typical. It's gorgeous.
Not typical. It's atypical.
It is gorgeous stuff.
I'm the illustrator on the project, the head illustrator, and I followed a Jack Kirby 60s, 70s type style, something that would mesh with Stan and mesh with the time frame that the story was originally written in. So the graphic novel starts off with 80 pages of art, and then we go into some special features, special articles, Stan's 75th anniversary, and some other pieces that were done. Fabian Nicieza, a co-creator of Deadpool, is the plot writer for this project. So Fabian and Stan got together to actually create the plot.
How did you get him?
Yeah. And why? How does that name sound so familiar to me?
It's blackmail. It's all blackmail. So between that team, between the writing team and an art team, we pulled together the project. And I'm very proud of it. I think everyone's going to love it.
One of the things that we wanted to talk to Stan about before he just mentioned everything himself and decided to go where he is that, you know, Silver Surfer was kind of a big influence on this, and Silver Surfer is kind of, let's say if that's, you know, the introductory course to Stan's take on humanity, this is kind of the master's thesis.
Yes.
And you
beautiful
kind of allude
story.
to that in the artwork too, and it's really, like you said, it takes it back to Kirby, and there's a lot of cool stuff. You experimented with a lot of different styles too.
Correct. Photo collage, art, a lot of fun stuff in this book.
And do we have a Shatner clip?
We do. Let's jump on. So besides God Woke, we have some other projects that are premiering. There's William Shatner's War Chronicles.
Yes.
Let's jump into that.
Okay, so as we see up on the screen there, a year ago we debuted season 1 of War Chronicles down in San Diego. Last year we came here with season 2, and this year we're combining those into a feature movie. So it's now literally a 2-hour and 40-minute movie that you can get on iTunes right now. And at some point we could even have Bill tell us a little bit. He's not here, but we kind of have him in spirit because we bought him on video. So maybe we can have Bill tell us a little bit about the story real quick.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
if we can dig him up, let's see where he
Yeah.
is.
Come on, Bill. Let's watch this.
Can we roll the chat? There we go.
Yep, here we go.
To kind of be like, yeah, he's a part of it. Like, that's exactly. And also the emotional softened him because of he's had to have a different point of view, everyone's point of view, and now okay, so how can we make this work? You got, and what do you think, Ben? Well, I think it's what you guys think. So his own opinion has been beaten out of him as a result of his work. Now he goes to Mars to do the same thing, and suddenly becomes on fire as a result of these kids' passion. And then maybe in the drawing, maybe his suit coat that was buttoned is now open, and his face becomes more alive, and suddenly he's alive. And somewhere in there, maybe we say that. You know, he says, "My God, I feel more alive today than I have since I was a kid," because he's caught the passion. And like in everything else, I think in life or in drama, that passion is what everybody attaches themselves to. So we give him a passion. This is freedom. This is fair. what Earth, not the evil, but the lack of harmony on Earth. Here, there's a desire to be free and to be fair, and this is the beginning of the evolution of Mars, which may be able to give something else to Earth other than the materials, might be able to give them a sense of esprit that Earth has now lacked. He's an idealist part that in his latter years has found his passion.
Yeah, what's great about this is that you can go to iTunes and you can purchase this, and you can watch it on your smartphone, and you own it. It's downloaded. It's on there anytime you want to watch it. As far as the audio goes, it's original music, just like a movie, and loads of cinematic sound effects.
And also this thing where we just saw with Bill was in New York at Comic-Con last year, and basically we had the entire team of all the artists were there to meet him and to discuss how Bill saw the story going, because we weren't quite sure what his thoughts were, so we said, well, let's sit down with him. So he explained where he wanted the character to go, how the development went, so that he was a part of everything that we did.
That's a good point. War Chronicles is an adaptation of two novels that William Shatner wrote. One of them is Man of War, and the other one is Law of War. So, and we've actually added extra material to bridge the two books. So, right now, as Scott and Gary mentioned, it's on as a cinematic graphic novel, iTunes, Vimeo.
All sorts of places.
All sorts of places, all sorts of outlets. And it's also on Comixology as an ongoing monthly title in Comixology. And then at some point, probably by the time we see you next year, we'll have a War Chronicles hardcover graphic novel, just like we did for Stan.
And before we move on, we can also show you a quick clip just to give you an idea as to what we actually do. So,
great idea.
Yeah, so imagine this on your mobile device. Let's watch that.
So that's what we do.
Well, that looks fantastic. I can't wait to see that. So now we got Stan.
We got Stan.
We got Shatner.
We got Mr. William Shatner.
Yep.
But
we call it Mr. Stan Lee too. Let's be a little respectful.
That's not really all you got in the staple going on at Shatner Singularity, right?
No, there's more.
Hi, Tim. Hi. You break up down there? Sorry, we kind of left you out of the conversation.
Well, it's hard. I got to follow up Stan Lee, Mariano, William Shatner, and now you guys got me, Tim Walsh, Day's Work.
Day's Work? Why don't you tell us about that?
Well, a day's work is basically the definition of a passion project. I worked at a pizzeria for over 20 years, And, in those 20 years, we kind of see some wild and crazy customers. The comic actually started off on paper plates. After a long shift, working 9 o'clock in the morning till 1 o'clock in the morning that same day, we would just sit around as we clean up, and I would draw pictures of, some of the crazy customers that we saw, and that's some of the crew up there right now. That's me in a pizza suit. I didn't always have to wear a pizza suit, so that was pretty cool. But right now you can get issue 1 on Comixology. We have issue 2 coming out very soon in November, and followed up by issue 3, issue 4, and we're going to make this a monthly comic.
Now you say we, why don't you tell us about who you're working with?
I have myself, and I have my writer Chris, who couldn't be here. It's actually his son's first Halloween, so he stayed back and is manning the fort back there. And I also have a great guy, James Hart, who's a part of the project, and all these guys up here as well.
Now, you said issue 1 out.
Issue 1 is out. You can download it. You can get it at Comixology.com. You can also get it at adwcartoon.com. It's a direct link. So there's some good stuff.
Issue 2?
Issue 2 is coming out the end of November. Issue 3 is coming out. And I'll give you a little spoiler. If you like wrestling, you like pizza, you like mullets, I mean, this book's got everything. It's got all the fine things in life. So you guys need to pick it up. And we do have a little clip of the actual pizzeria where I kind of basically grew up, so we can roll it now.
Let's check it out.
I grew up working on this boardwalk for over 20 years, hanging with my friends, making pizzas, and growing burgers.
I spent my summers working on a boardwalk just like this one. You get to work with your friends, you have great stories to tell.
Wacky and zany adventures.
The warm smells, we're going to convey the smells. Scratch and Sniff comic.
Every summer here was a crazy story, and we're bringing all those crazy stories to a day's work.
Not bad, right? Not bad.
Scan that QR code, people. Go for it.
I actually thought it was going to be pizza for all of us, but apparently I was wrong.
Yeah, should have brought out that pizza suit, because I understand we have to do a Japanese pop song after this.
Oh, we're dead. Oh, I gotta do the pop song? Oh, man. See, when I came in the flight, they actually took the suit, so I don't have it anymore. So, there's that going on.
So anything else you want to tell us about? Wait, there's something else going on with
Yeah,
Shatner
we got all
Singularity?
sorts of things still.
There's more. We're trying to touch different bases. So we've got science fiction covered, we've got humor covered, now I've got some superhero stuff to throw your way. So this is something I've put together over the years. I call it Phaser Universe. On God Woke, I was fortunate enough to use my art talents and to illustrate. On War Chronicles, I worked with William Shatner as the writer to adapt the novels into comic book form and to translate the novels into a format that would work in comics and in cinematic graphic novels, everything we were doing. So with Phaser Universe, I'm kind of putting the two together, and I'm the writer and the artist on this project. I've been working on it for quite a while. It was part of my master's thesis in college, and hopefully we'll launch it next summer, 2017. That's what I'm shooting for. It'll launch as 4 separate titles. One of the strategies I'm using for the rollout is a gradual rollout before the actual project comes out as a comic. I'm testing it out in various formats. Chuck Jones Art Gallery in San Diego has been working with us on all of this stuff, on God Woke, on War Chronicles, on A Day's Work, and Phaser Universe, to put together art gallery shows with the material that we're using to put these projects together. So there's also a credit card company that I'm working with. It's kind of a sneak peek of that credit card that you saw. There's going to be a line of credit cards, but it's not ready to launch. You're kind of getting a sneak peek. It's not out there yet. But
we're seeing some of your art on the card. Talk to us about your influence.
I'm heavily influenced by Jack Kirby. I've told this story a few times, but I wasn't, my brother Fabian and I were not born in the U.S. We were born in Argentina, and we came to the U.S. when we were kids. I was 8, he was 5, and we didn't know a word of English. Well, actually, I knew 2 words in English. I knew no and I knew okay, and that's the only thing I knew. And believe it or not, it was Marvel Comics from the 60s, Stan's work, Jack Kirby's work, that you know, we gravitated towards, and they helped us to learn English. Reading those comics back in the day helped us to learn English. So now, you know, as an adult, and I'm doodling, I'm drawing, I'm obviously gravitating to what I grew up with. So it's, you know, huge fan of Stan's and huge fan of Jack's.
You finally get to roll all that out, you know, as if working for Marvel a few years ago didn't do that enough. Now you actually get to get your hands dirty in it and
a lot of fun.
Participate in that legacy. Are you almost tired of drawing Kirby Crackle yet, or what? Because God Woke is filled with it. Phasing Universe.
I'll give you the secret of Kirby Crackle. Here's the secret of Kirby Crackle. You take a brand new eraser, you dip that in ink, and you dab it. That's the Kirby.
You guys know what Kirby Crackle is, right? Kirby Crackle is that weird cosmic energy you always see around the Silver Surfer. Jack Kirby was famous, and it was part of almost every cosmic illustration he did, when you just see all like the weird stuff just kind of floating around, and it just became an artistic trope. Now this is filled with it. Looks like Phaser Universe. When are you going to be putting Kirby Crackle in today's work?
Very, very soon. That's issue 3.
Well, what else can we tell these people about Shatner? What else can we tell these people about what's going on? What note can we leave our fans with? What's the lasting impression you want to leave?
The best part of being here at LA Comic-Con is that we have a booth at the show, and all the stuff we've been talking about, all the gallery artwork, God Woke premiere book, all sorts of promotional material that'll help you get to the digital stuff, all of it is in booth 1813. That's where we're at. I invite everyone to stop by. We're there all day.
Now,
love to talk to each and every one of you.
Is there going to be anything special happening later there?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
You're right. It is. You know, you can buy one of these awesome T-shirts there.
You never mention it. You can't.
No,
Get the shirt there.
Really,
Tim's going to be there, right?
Really special.
Tim's going to be signing. Yeah.
Stan Lee is going to be in our booth at 2 o'clock this afternoon, and he'll be autographing all of these various pieces that we've shown you. So we welcome everyone to stop by and see Stan in person in our booth, 1813 at 2 p.m.
Guys, parting shots, Tim?
Enjoy the rest of Comic-Con. Come to our booth. Say hi. Thank you.
Gary, parting shot?
Yeah, well, I'm going to promote Mariano just one more time because it's like, you know what the booth is. He says 1813, but in reality, it's right where that big sign that's, what does that sign say? I can't read it from here.
Show exclusive merchandise.
Show exclusive merchandise,
Yeah,
right there. You can't miss the sign. We're right under that sign. That's what you need to know.
Good landmark.
Parting shot?
We're at the booth, and we're on iTunes as well, and Comixology.
All right. Well, thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Pick up God Woke. I helped edit it, and this guy was fantastic in terms of working together. And it's a labor of love, I think, for everybody here at the stable, especially Tim.
Yes.
But it's a fantastic piece of work. It's unlike anything Stan has put out before, and hopefully we'll be able to get him to do more in the future. So thanks a lot, guys. Enjoy LA Comic-Con.